that if that's all right. Yeah. That so greetings as ever. So Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. And we always do this simply just to open the space out. And we did say that there are 4 elements of our health. So one of them is the physical health, one of them is mental health, one of them is emotional, one of them is transpersonal. This transpersonal is really what you'd call your conscious space. You would call it your spiritual space. You would call it spiritual intelligence. You would call it that there's an intelligence that you are intuitively recognizing. No one's telling you. They might be pointing it out for you, but you're recognizing an intelligence. There's an intelligence about you. You're able. What does intelligence mean? Intelligence means being able to separate the two, to be able to make a decision. That's it, make a choice. Discrimination. That's what intelligence is. Discrimination. What is from what isn't. That's the best discrimination. What is from what isn't. And as we become more aware of these natural ways of being, in terms of, say, for example, the unfolding of the present moment, that it's experiencing, you're part of it, we can't deny it. Recognitions. And this is really about spiritual intelligence and spiritual wisdom and spiritual. So let's look at spiritual intelligence. So if you look at this whole pandemic thing, it's as well organized as it could be, with its chaos. Everything unfolds exactly as it needs to unfold. Whether we like it or not is immaterial. It's immaterial. If we accept what is happening, then we reduce the level of impact. The more we hanker for it, and the less it's available to us, will make our life very stressful. Very stressful. So this is now the time to prepare for what I feel, and we've been saying this for a few months, like the post-traumatic stuff. Prepare for what I feel, and we've been saying this for a few months, like the post-traumatic stuff. The post-traumatic stress disorder that follows when people are quarantined and stressed and feared for such a long time. So what can we do is, one, we can recognize this is a possible consequence, and we can see the manifestation of it. We can see that anger is becoming more and more prominent in just protests, in riots, in people burning centers. In, I think, Netherlands, they were doing that. So you've got this emerging energy of anger, which is being expressed in riots, protests, those kind of things. And uncertainty. No one quite knows what's going on. Can't put your finger on it, but no one is certain. No one can say for sure this is what's going on. Everything is uncertain. If you look at the presidency in the USA, no matter what you've been shown, there's an uncertainty. If you look at the way that the world and the governments have been dealing with the lockdowns and the pandemics, there's a level of uncertainty. Will the economy survive? Uncertain. Will the health system be able to cope? Uncertain. Will my kids' education be affected? Pretty certain. Yes. Yeah. Can the mothers and the people who are at home doing their homework and do homeschooling? Impossible. You can see the consequences. So there are opportunities that are really available. And I think this is where I feel we should be focusing now in a lot of our understanding. The health bit is all good and well, but now is the spiritual principles, your own innate principles. what you think is the right thing for you. And in that, it means making choices. And some choices are, I'm not going to follow the herd, I'm going to think for myself. But at the same time, I'm not going to oppress someone or try and force someone in another place. Everyone will do what they need to do. Everything is as it needs to be. So important to recognize that. So important to recognize that you, me, every one of us is a product of infinite generations. Infinite. Right through the start. We're all a product of that. And we're experiencing something profound. Never in a lifetime could we have wished for anything like this. Yeah? But look at it. We're still being taken through it. And you're going to get, it's like walking through a tunnel or a chimney. Sure, you're going to get a few scrapes along the way, but you're okay. And you will be okay. Because it's not up to you whether you think, I'll be okay or not. Life is taking care of all of us. That's why some of us are here listening to this. Because this is what we need to listen to. That trust that emerges is your spiritual vision. Don't have to rely on anyone. Don't have to rely on anything. You have to rely on yourself. Because that's where you're going to find it. And how do you get there? You get there by realizing that you do not need to hold on to anything. You don't need to hold on to this body. You don't need to hold on to anything. You don't need to hold on to life. You don't need to hold on to anything. That holding on can become our illness. And now we are in this changing process. You can't hold on to anything. Can't hold on to anything. You can only do what you're capable of doing. And new opportunities will emerge. That's the nature of life. If we don't hold on to the old, new opportunities will arise because we are innovative. We are creative. That's what we are. Creative, conscious, flowing. We are creative and we're conscious. And what does creative mean is that your energy. You can do things. You can do things. And yes, we are restricted in what we can do at the moment externally, but we're not restricted to look within ourselves. So taking time out to disengage, now we realize the value of it. Yeah, don't need to get involved in all that drama. Yep, know it's going on, don't need to get involved in it. And those who are involved in it, those who are engaged in it, are finding it very difficult to come out, unfortunately. And as a result, they get sucked into one way or another. So everyone is in a moment now where they are having to ask themselves, what's the right thing for me? Not because someone is telling me, what's the right thing for me? And that answer can only come from within yourself. No one else can give it to you. But in that, finding that answer, in sitting, in being alone, in having some silence, in disengaging, we then identify. Our experience should tell us if something is true or not. Yes, going back to spiritual intelligence. If something, only when you put your hand in the fire will you know fire is hot. The same is true for any experience. Your experience tells you if something is real or not. Okay? It's like tasting sugar or tasting something sweet. That sweetness may be different for everyone, but we describe it as sweet, right? So by allowing ourselves to experience our body in what it is, for example, will give us an opportunity to realize that we have a body, but we're not the body. So we don't have to let go of the body. We just have to realize it. We have a body, but we're not the body. And what is the proof in that? The proof in that is, well, let's look at the physical body. Started off in grandmother, which became your mum, from which you and I are here. We are a product of someone else. We all are. Always have been, always will be. Out of the ocean, the waves emerge. Same thing with us. We emerge, we disappear, we emerge, we disappear. Nature of life. Nature of life. That then becomes, when we begin to see that, spring comes every year. When we see that, we realize everything is in this space. Everything, everything, you and me, everyone, everything is in that space. This becomes our intuitive spiritual wisdom. We realize that. That's all it is. Don't have to go to any prayer. You just need to realize what life is, what's going on. And if we realize that, we recognize that, that is your awakening. Yeah? So it's right in front of us. But we fail to see it. So now we are, as a humanity, I feel, we are coming to recognize that. Recognize that. And yes, there are those that are trying to take advantage. Never let a good crisis go to waste. Yeah, that's the motto. So here's a crisis. Create the crisis. Create the security. Create the solution. Create the fear. It's the same. Remember the terrorism thing? Same process. Same process. But this time it affects everyone. Before it only affected groups of people. Now it's everyone. Universal. But it's okay. It's what humanity needs to wake up, and this is what we're doing. We're coming to understand our power. What, a few hundred people telling 60 million people what to do. Not even 600, I think. Telling 60 million people what to do. Could have asked yourself the question, where does the power lie? Do you know what I mean? Just ask yourself the question, where does the power lie? And because we give our power away, people abuse it and use it for whatever agenda there is. And it may be for your wellness, well-being. But if that was the case, then surely you would take care of the rising rate of suicides, the mental health crisis, the stuff that's going on with young people. Surely you do something about that, something meaningful. But extending, we spoke about this months ago, it's this carrot stick. That's all it is. Okay, we're all going to be free by February. Yeah. No, sorry, March. No. Easter. Yeah. Remember the Christmas days? You got 5 days, No, you haven't. Yeah, it's the same game. And it becomes laughable. Once you see, look, this kind of stuff is only brought to its knees when you start ridiculing it, when you start seeing it for what it is. Yeah. And we're not saying there isn't an illness out there. What we're saying is the measures are absolutely disproportionate. It's miles apart. And it all started with, let's flatten the curve for a couple of weeks back in those days. And here we are. Christmas gone. New Year's gone. Diwali gone. Eid gone. Vaisakhi gone. Masses gone. Choirs gone. But what's going on? Masks. More masks. Cover yourself. Cover yourself. There's a story, right? Said that there's a king. He had a dream. He had a dream in which said that there's a king. He had a dream. He had a dream. So he got up in the morning and he thought, oh my God, this is terrible. Called all his wise men and women and said, look, I've had this dream. And yeah, he was that. And he said, he's coming and it's at this time. I said, how long? He said, well, about 11 hours. Says, what do I do? He said, well, can you recognize where you were? And he said, I think I was here. Best thing, grab the horse and off you go. So he takes the horse and he off he goes. Where do I go? He goes, just keep running through the jungle on the other side. So he does this, goes through all this jungle, over the rivers, mountains everywhere. Hours pass, late at night. Goes into this dark forest, finds a place to rest, ties his horse, and he feels a tap on his back, and he turns around, and that says, thought you'd never get here. Yeah? So we can't avoid what is inevitable. Yeah, we can't avoid. It's written. It is, the time is there. The moment that breath goes, layers. This dream's over, next dream's about to start. So we enter that dream without fear. Once we recognize that, life and death are just this part of the cycle. Fear doesn't really matter that much. You transcend it. Because what are you running for? Use your common sense, build your immune system, take precautions, but not to the damage of yourself and your children. You know? Is this helping any family? Anyone with kids at this moment is in a really quite a stressful state. So what can we do? We can create community networks, socially organized collective networks, where people can come together and say, look, you know what, we need, here's a group of healers, here's a group of martial artists, here's a few carpenters, whatever it is, but allow ourselves to develop to take advantage of what is happening, to provide for the need, and the need is health. Primary. You've got health, you've got everything. You ain't got health, you can't trust anyone. Yeah? Self-sufficiency. Which one of us, who can grow, what can grow, because things are changing very quickly. And we are in a change, and make use of that change. Use the energy. Things are changing, and accepting that, seeing it, you don't have to accept it, because whether you accept it or not, it's only you who's going to suffer. So you see it for what it is and say, okay, how can I prepare for the next bit? And think outside the box. Because the old is finished. The old system is going and gone right in front of you. So there's a new system. And I know it's a bit of a pain in the ass, but we got to do it. So the universe gifts those that put value into the universe. What can I do that's of value? Yeah? Reduce a little bit of suffering. That's a good start. For yourself first. Then let's look at the rest of the world. Yeah? Get yourself sorted out. The world will take care of itself. And in that, we become the support for those people who are having these difficulties in trying to make choices, where we can sit and provide an alternative opinion or give them information that is in a rational way or whatever, however you can support. Something from that struggle right down to, you know, I'm struggling, I'm anxious. Well, I meditate, sit with me, show you how to do it. Because this is the important bit. The important bit is what can we do to keep our collective peace? And that collective peace is growing. It's growing. Trust me, it is growing. It's going. There's so many people are now meditating because it's a medicine. It's your necessity. We said years ago, meditation will be to mental health what brushing your teeth is to dental health. And we can see that today. Before it was a luxury. It ain't a luxury anymore. Got to do it. If you don't do it, you will suffer the consequences of being engaged in this frantic energy around you. Right? So today's kind of session, really, where I want to conclude to is looking at things from a perspective. Last time we were looking at our body with a body scan with like a diagnostic worldview. Today we want to look at it from the worldview from a position of how what we are not part of, or what we have. Like, for example, we have a body, but we're not the body. Actually experience that if we can by going through the layers of the body. And that's one space. And the other thing that I think we want to try and exercise and experience is where do we end up? And wherever we end up in that experience, see what qualities are there. Okay, that's your spiritual vision. And your spiritual intelligence is to discriminate what is real and what isn't real. And the way we discriminate this is that which changes is not real. That which changes is not real. Whatever it is. Like a dream. Yesterday was real, was it not? But it was a dream today. So even our reality is a figment of your imagination. You can make it what you want. Color it as you want. Color it as you want. And that's our opportunity. So we color. So when we go in that space of going through the bodies and then going into that space, that spiritual vision of recognizing, that intuitive vision, or the intelligence to go through the body, and that wisdom to come out of what is there. And the more you connect with that, the more you see that, the stronger it becomes. And that becomes your strength. That becomes not just your strength, the strength for all those that are around you. You are indeed blessed to be in this time and to be pretty calm. No frantic, no running around. Yeah? Okay, are we ready to roll? Okay. What time? Oh, 6 o'clock. Right, so our intention is today, so first just have your eyes open for a while. And notice that you can see things around you, etc. And as you close your eyes, become aware of your inner space, right? So you will notice that you are able to perceive, or you're able to see the back of your eyelids. Maybe just darkness, but you have awareness of darkness. And then if you can take your awareness just to your body as a whole. So just see if you can sense your whole body. And you'll notice that it may not be outlined or defined, but there's just a sense of your presence, so to speak. And if you were to scan your body, just to go through from the head all the way to your feet, You may notice that there are sensations within your body, and some of them may be dominant, may be stronger than others, more noticeable. So if you bring your focus now to the seat you're on, you will notice there are sensations in your body that are noticeable. Anything that you can observe cannot be you. You're the observer. From those sensations, if you breathe up and you move your awareness upwards towards your hips, notice that you have now the awareness of your hips as best as you can. From there, as you breathe out, bring your focus down your thighs. Take your time. So all we're doing is just noticing the senses that are present, the sensations that are present as we move down our thighs. From your knees, you move your focus down towards your ankles. Notice your feet. And notice the soles of your feet now. Again, as best as you can. Don't struggle. Coming back to the seat you're on, as you breathe in, bring your focus to yourself, your whole self. And let us just locate ourselves where we are in this moment right now. You will notice that you can only be above the ground that you're in now, right this moment. In other words, you can only be where you are. The ground beneath you supports you. Notice that. Notice that the air around you and the air in front of you is the only air that you can breathe in. So as you breathe in, notice that it's the air just in front of you. So you can only breathe the air that's in front of you. Notice if you feel warm or if you feel cold. That is simply as a result of where you are. Notice the space around you. Again, in other words, you can't be anywhere else. The warmth you feel or the coolness you feel can only be felt in the environment you're in. And this moment now in which you exist and I exist, bring your focus to yourself. This moment now connects you to all that exists in this moment of now. Connects you to the entire universe that exists in this moment of now. To every life form, to every blade of grass, you exist in the same moment as all of that. And this moment that you're in connects you to all the moments that have ever been. And in this moment of now, you are connected to all the moments that ever will be. Notice how embedded you are in the moment of now, grounded. The moment of now holds you, it nurtures you, it cherishes you. The moment of now is your God, is your divinity. Bringing your focus back to the seat you're on. As you breathe in, bring your focus up towards your lower back. As you take the next breath in, bring this focus up towards your middle back. And again, just noticing any sensations that are there. As you breathe in to your shoulder blades, up to your shoulders. And then from your shoulders, move your focus down towards your elbows. Towards your wrists. Coming to the palms of your hands. The fingers on your hands. Bring your focus up towards your eyes. If you notice yourself being distracted, bring your focus back. Notice how your eyes feel. Notice the darkness. See if you can soften this part of the body. Bringing your focus now to your mouth. Notice your tongue. Does it feel firm or does it feel soft? Allow it to soften. Notice the sensations on the roof of your mouth. On the sides of your mouth. And then allow your face to relax. As you breathe in, once again coming to yourself. Noticing your body as best as you can. Notice any sensations that are in your body at this moment. And your intention now is to see your body for what it is. Focusing on the surface of your body. The skin, everything within your body that consists of a solid. Your teeth, your bones, your cranium, your skull, your jaw, bones within your neck, your spine, bones at your rib cage, hips, legs, moving down to your feet. bones within our arms, all that which is solid. I want you to bring your focus towards that. All that which is solid within you. Draw a slow, deep breath in, hold, and relax. Focus just beneath your nose. Watching your breath. Stay with your breath. Stay with your breath. Now I'd like you to bring your focus to all the liquid element in your life. Bringing your focus to your mouth. Notice the saliva. And this is your connection to all that is liquid within yourself. The blood that flows through you, the plasma, the tears, all that is liquid within you. Makes one of the elements of you. Just bring your focus towards recognizing that. And the way you connect to it is through the saliva in your mouth. Deep breath in and relax. Bringing your focus just beneath your nose. Staying with your breath. Stay with your breath. And now we bring our focus to the third element in our body, the element of fire. All the sensations that you can experience right now are as a result of electrical impulses running through the nervous system, firing little bolts of electricity. Become aware of the sensations within yourself as best as you can. Holding your focus, scanning yourself from the top of your head all the way down, holding those sensations in your field of awareness. Deep breath in and relax. Once again, coming, holding your focus just beneath your breath, beneath your nose, watching the in-breath moving in, watching the out-breath moving out. And we begin to observe that the breath has 4 parts to it. You have an in-breath and an out-breath. And on either side, you have a tiny little gap where the in-breath ends and the out-breath begins, and where the out-breath ends and the in-breath begins. See if you can identify these 4 parts of your breath. Stay with your breath. Follow your out breath all the way till the end. And see if you can notice the gap before the in breath begins. Allow your breath to breathe by itself. Allowing your awareness to penetrate, follow the breath all the way till the end. And to connect to that little dot, that little gap, in which there is no out breath, there is no in breath. Stay with your breath. And now notice how you're breathing. The fourth element. Breath goes in, breath comes out. The breath breathes by itself. The breath has a length. Does the in breath same length as the out breath? The breath has speed. Does the in breath flow the same as the out breath? The breath has temperature. Does the in breath feel the same as the out breath? The breath has sound. Does your in breath sound the same as your out breath? Listening to your in breath, listening to your out breath. Notice how the breath breathes by itself. The fourth element, the breath. On your next breath out, Begin to listen to the sounds around you, opening your awareness, the element of space. The same space that exists within you too. Listening. Notice how your awareness extends in space as you listen to the sound of this bell. Gently bringing your focus just beneath your nose and just sitting with your breath. The breath breathes by itself. Your entire body functions by itself, just as the breath breathes by itself. On your next breath out, expand your awareness, becoming aware of your whole body as best as you can. Notice that you're still sitting in the same place you started. You still have sensations in your body where your body makes contact with where you're sitting. You can sense your thighs, your knees, your feet, all the way down to your feet. Your back is still straight and upright. Arms, hands, shoulders are relaxed and comfortable. Your eyes are still closed, your mouth is still closed, and your face is relaxed. Coming back to your breath. Notice as you breathe in, you can sense your body, and as you breathe out, you can sense your body. Breathing in, you can sense your body. Breathing out, you can sense your body. Just bringing an intention to smile. Notice if there's any change in the sensations in the body. When you hear the next bell, use this bell to draw some deep breaths in, slowly, and then in your own good time, gently opening your eyes, coming back out. Take your time. Everyone back? Yes, Javan. Excellent. Thank you very much for joining us again. And, see you soon. Khalsa, wait for the